Good evening, Ananda. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 and Viksit Bharat at 2047 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute, Center for Arts, Sciences and Well-being. So before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating World Menopause Day on October 18. Every year to raise awareness about the impact the condition has on the lives of women around the world. Despite affecting about half of the world's population, menopause isn't talked about as much as it could be. Observing the day is also an opportunity to engage further medical research on the condition. So World Menopause Day was established in 1984 by the World Health Organization and the International Menopause Society, IMS, with the intention of spreading awareness about this condition that affects women as they age. Menopause is a term used to describe the natural decline of a woman's reproductive hormones, beginning between the ages of 45 and 55, when the body experiences in its last menstrual cycle. So common symptoms of menopause include hot flashes, night sweats, mood changes, and sleep disturbances. All of these symptoms can result in an increase in anxiety and depression. After menopause, women are more at risk of developing conditions like heart disease and osteoporosis. Most treatments for menopause focus on symptomatic relief, as it's a normal part of aging and as such is not a curable condition. The condition has not been studied as much as it should be and is not discussed openly. Having a World Menopause Day was seen as a solution to these problems by encouraging conversation and research on menopause and its effects. As people worldwide are living together, more and more women are likely to undergo menopause. It is important that we are prepared for the effects that might happen as a result of menopause so that we can live better, healthier lives. The International Menopause Society is born and the IMS is established by Rodney Baber during the Second International Congress on Menopause in Jerusalem in 1978. The World Health Organization and the IMS choose October 18th as the date to raise awareness and support women undergoing menopause since 1984. Northern American Menopause Society was founded in 1989. Fully self-funded, the NAMS dedicated to understanding menopause was established. The IMS decides that since local societies couldn't easily organize awareness-related activities on one day, the whole month would be dedicated to spreading awareness about menopause since 2020, and October is declared as World Menopause Month. So women experiencing menopause endure a number of unpleasant symptoms like lack of sleep and heat flashes, which directly affect their productivity and quality of life. Menopause affects women around the time and that they reach 40 to 58 years of age. There are a number of lifestyle changes that can help with menopausal symptoms, including having a balanced diet, taking medication, and limiting certain triggers. But further research is needed for us to understand the condition better, which is why observing World Menopause Day is so important. Consider sharing medical information freely available with the International Menopause Society with people who will undergo menopause. Work with community leaders to organize a talk about menopause by knowledgeable healthcare providers. If you know someone ex- who is experiencing menopause, be patient and understanding and ask them to share their experience. So women can experience menopause before age 40 when the woman's ovaries stop functioning normally before she reaches 40 years old. Slightly early menopause, it is referred to as primary ovarian insufficiency. Menopause can increase the risk of diseases. The changing hormonal levels of at this time can leave the body vulnerable to heart disease and some cancers. Sleeplessness is the most common symptom. Research indicates that 94.5% of women experiencing menopause reported being sleepless during this time. After the menopausal phase, most women report feeling better than they have in years. People around the world are still unable to discuss menopause, even though it is a completely natural aspect of women's health. With perimenopause starting up to a year before menopause, the symptoms and discomfort of menopause can affect women for more than a decade. It is only lately that active medical research is being conducted on menopause and related symptoms. Today is also commemorated as United Nations Week in Philippines, and the United Nations Week starts on October 18 and runs up to October 24th every year. This day has been celebrated annually since 2003, presently made up in 193 member states, including the Philippines. The UN has evolved throughout the years to keep up with the ever-changing world. But still, work is still guided by the principles held with its founder charter. It is one place on earth where all nations can come together, discuss problems, and find a solution that benefits everyone. The year was 1945 in San Francisco, California. Representatives of 50 countries met at the United Nations Conference on International Organization from April 25th to June 26th, just before the end of World War II. They drafted and signed the UN Charter after 2 months, creating a new international organization called the United Nations. It aimed to maintain international peace and security, protect human rights, uphold international law, as well as extended humanitarian assistance. More than 75 years later, the UN is also involved in setting sustainable development goals for a more sustainable future for everyone. Action to limit global warming has also been agreed upon the UN member states. The Philippines was one of the original member states and one of the only four Asian nations that signed the charter, signing the start of the UN. It was also one of the co-founders of the G77 coalition in 1964 that helped promote collective economic interest in the UN. The organization evolved into the Intergovernmental Group of 24 on International Monetary Affairs and Development of G24. For over 7 decades, the Philippine government has partnered with the UN different programs and commitments such as the International Convention on the Protection of Rights of All Migrant Workers and members of their family and Convention Against Illicit Traffic in Narcotic Drugs. The country also consistently sends peacekeepers to the UN, and its office employs a huge number of Filipinos. The UN also assists the country during calamities and helps raise funds for various causes. Today is also commemorated as Bridge Day in US. If you are an adventure lover, extreme sports addict, or an adrenaline junkie, you will love Bridge Day, the third Saturday of October every year, falling on October 8th this year. Despite what the name implies, Bridge Day isn't a day to celebrate the architectural beauty of bridges all around the world. Bridge Day is a festival held in Fayetteville, West Virginia, in the United States, where thousands of adventure lovers either watch or take part in various extreme sports that largely involve jumping off the new River George Bridge. About 1 lakh people arrive at the Fayette County on the third weekend in October every year to take part in the Bridge Day festivities. The New River George Bridge Day Commission organizes the event and closes the bridge to automobiles for the event. Day is also commemorated as International Raw Milk Day, Cheese Appreciation Day, which takes place on third Saturday in October and takes place on October 18th this year, appreciates the delectable taste and texture of raw milk cheese to celebrate. The main question is this: how is raw milk cheese different from any other cheese? Raw milk cheese is made from organic and unprocessed milk, while most dairy manufactured cheese is made from pasteurized milk and contains preservatives. The industry grade preservation process does kill the microbes but also kills the unique flavors. Though everyone will agree killing microbes is more important than some flavors or textures, the biome present in the milk consists of both good and bacteria. When preparing raw milk cheese, skilled artisans can strike a balance so that we enjoy the best of both worlds. Most preservation processes either use artificial preservatives or heat to kill the bacteria in the milk. These processes ensure that the cheese produced is safe, but also robs it of the distinct flavors that the tiny little organisms are capable of rendering during fermentation. Preservation techniques are also employed during the production of raw milk cheese, but they are tailored not to follow the typical method of mass producing in industries. Today is also commemorated as International Sloth Day. Hang out and celebrate International Sloth Day, which takes place on the third Saturday in October. Sloths are slow-moving mammals, often found in Central and South America. The two major types are two-toed and three-toed sloths. Although sloths look like some kind of furry bear monkey, their closest relatives are anteaters and armadillos. This international holiday was first created by the Foundation AIUNAU, a program dedicated to the conservation and rehabilitation of wildlife in Colombia. AIUNAU first started working with sloths in 1996 and has worked to promote their cause ever since. AIUNAU, there's a lot of that sloths can teach us: respect, tenderness, and joy. Sloths spend their lives in tropical rainforests. They move slowly, covering about 40 yards per day, munching on leaves and twigs. Sloths have an exceptionally low metabolic rate and spend 15 to 20 hours per day sleeping. These long-armed animals are excellent swimmers, according to the World Wildlife Fund. WWF, there are two different types of sloths, two-toed and three-toed, and a total of 6 species. So pygmy three-toed sloth, maned sloth, pale-throated sloth, brown-throated sloth, Linnea's two-toed sloth, Hoffman's two-toed sloth. Their health depends on tropical rainforests, which remain at risk. The WWF works with communities, governments, and companies to encourage sustainable forestry. Without them, sloths will lose their shelter and food source. Unfortunately, when sloths periodically venture to the forest floor, they can do little to protect themselves from predators. That's partially due to the fact that their limbs are adapted only for hanging and grasping. Not for supporting their weight. So muscles make up only 20 to 25 to 30% of their total body weight compared to 40 to 40% for other mammals. So animal traffickers pose yet another threat despite the fact that sloths do not make for good pets. So make a donation to your favorite wildlife organization. Sloths need all the support we can give them in the face of poachers and other threats. According to the Travel and Leisure, sloths can swim 3 times faster than they can walk on land. And because of their ability to slow their heart rates to one third its normal rate, they can also hold their breath for a whooping 40 minutes underwater. As National Geographic reports, sloths require a specialized diet, a constantly warm and humid environment, and needs to spend a lot of time suspended from high branches. They are not suitable to have at home. So craft your own sloth decorations. You can use all sorts of materials from felt fabric to paper plates. You can make a plush sloth for a friend or create an activity for kids. You can find more sloth cutout instructions online or from books at your local library. Enjoy National Sloth Day by spending a lazy hour watching movies with sloths in them, like Zootopia, The Croods, and any Ice Age film. Because sloths have a very slow metabolic process, they usually only relieve themselves once per week. Sloths are arboreal animals, meaning they spend most of their lives in trees, hanging around. A sloth's fur hosts a vast ecosystem of moths, bugs, and algae, which stains their furs green and is used as camouflage in the trees. Three-toed sloths are able to turn their hands nearly 360 degrees. And when sloths survive possible poachers and captors, they can live anywhere between 10 and 30 years, aging gracefully. It's nearly impossible to look at sloths and not gush. Their fur is thick and soft, and their eyes are big pools of warmth. From their casual vibe to their permanent smiles, they beam at beauty. They are downright adorable. Sloths have their moments, but they are so mesmerizing to watch as they rest in the trees and stay serene for what seems like an eternity. It's no wonder sloths are so popular, master of Zen. Although sloths have peaceful demeanors, wild sloths can be aggressive and bite very hard. If caught by a predator on land, you are likely to hear a sloth hissing or shrieking. Visitors at a sloth nursery should not get too close. They can get aggressive if necessary, though it's rare. Today is also commemorated as Kati Bihu, which is celebrated on the first day of Kati month in the Assamese calendar, usually falling somewhere in mid-October. This year it is observed on October 18th. The festival marks the relocation of the rice crop and beginning of the fresh harvest season. Kati Bihu is an observation of service, penance, and the hope for a better future. The festival is celebrated across the state of Assam, although all Assamese tribes have their own rituals and interpretations of the day. Lamps are lit outside the homes, and a pathway of bamboos is constructed as a trial of ancestors. Kati Bihu, also known as Kongali Bihu, is a unique festival observed in India's northeastern state of Assam. It usually falls in the middle of October and is celebrated with a somber flavor. There is a less merriment amongst the observant folks as the festival is all about the constraining conditions of the month, despite being one of the grandest observations of the land and spirit of the day, not joyous. Rather, the festival reflects is on the year bygone. The month of October is sowing season in Assam. The freshly sprouting paddy fields and the empty granaries are symbolic of Kangal, which translates to grow. Kati Bihu is one of the three important festivals of the Assamese people, including Bogali, Bigu, and Rongal Bigu. Outside their homes, people light clay lamps and the holy basil plant is decked with garlands and lights. The tradition of burning the lamps dates back to ancient celebrations when lanterns on the paddy field attracted insects and served as a natural insecticide. To guide the ancestors home, traditional lamps saki are placed at the tops of the bamboo sticks. So Kati Bihu is celebrated with great sincerity by the entire state. It is one of the few unique festivals of India which surpasses religion, social status, caste as people from all walks of life come together and observe the solemnity of their conditions. Today is also commemorated as National Alaska Day in US, the largest state by area to join the US and its frontier to boot. It is any wonder we have a special day on October 18th each year to celebrate this amazing place. Today is also commemorated as National Chocolate Cupcake Day on October 18th in US, a day where office break rooms everywhere fill this special kind of joy only brought by chocolate cupcakes, which were born out of a 1976 cookbook called American Cookery and have since grown into a worldwide craze and dessert staple. So let's appreciate all there is about delicious chocolate cupcakes and happiness they bring to everyone who enjoys them. Today is also commemorated as National Fetch Day in US on October 18th. It's a chance to get out in the yard, get some exercise and build some memories. Fetch may be one of the oldest bonding activities between dogs and their humans. And National Fetch Day is the perfect opportunity to celebrate and strengthen the bond. Fetch may be game played between a dog and his human, but it has roots tens of thousands of years ago, and the game being played was survival. Recent science indicates that the first dogs were domesticated by humans sometimes between 1800 and 32,000 years ago. Their evolved ancestors slowly progressed from hunting competitors into hunting partners, leading to their general domestication as pets over millennia. This is where fetch comes in. As a hunting partner, dogs played several different roles, one of which is being to retrieve food. Think the bloodhound from duck hunt, but without the snarky laughter. The breeds that were best at its critical component were the ones that were more likely to stick around, becoming the fetch lovers we love today. Eventually, the need to fetch food was replaced by far less survival endeavors, like snuggling and taking up the whole bed, and also the process fetch game became the game of fetch, only this time with a greater bonding component. So try out their chemically and psychologically disposed to the game. Playing fetch feels good to them. The exercise creates a sort of runner's high that triggers the reward regions in their brains. The tickling of the reward regions becomes self-reinforcing. Dogs who feel good playing fetch play fetch more. There is also bonding component. Dogs are notoriously loyal animals, and the bond created between a dog and his human playing fetch has significant impact on that relationship. It provides much needed exercises for the dog who are we kidding the human too, and reinforces the relationship chemically and psychologically. Dogs love fetch, they play fetch with their humans. Dogs love their humans. What lovely man. Today is also commemorated as Healthcare Aid Day in Canada. It was first created by the government of Manitoba, Canada, to honor healthcare aides since these talented professionals work around the clock and in a variety of situations from acute care to home, community and residential care. There are ever present caregivers for the sickest and neediest portions of the population. There were over 8,000 healthcare aides to Manitoba, but that number has grown to much larger in recent years. In any public healthcare system, healthcare aides are indispensable. In the 19th century, hospitals were the only source of care for the sick or disabled. It wasn't until the early 20th century that the concept of sending trained health professionals into places where sick individuals were confined picked up speed. In 1901, MetLife offered their first home health insurance policy, which changed the face of healthcare. In the following 15 years, over a million home health visits took place. With the insurance, communicable diseases incidence decreased, and it was clear that this new form of healthcare promoted both quality and length of life. In 1963, when Dame Cicely Saunders gave a lecture at Yale University on the idea of specialized care for those at the end of their lives, further kicked off the home healthcare profession. Only 2 years later, Dr. Saunders was invited to become a faculty member of Yale School of Nursing by the Dean Florence Ward. Dr. Saunders later established the first hospice center, St. Christopher Hospice, in the UK in 1967, and Florence Ward created the first hospice center in 1974 in Brainford City. In 1975, the first National Symposium on Hospice Care was convened in Connecticut, and in 1979, the National Hospice Organization, NHO, was established to promote hospice care as a concept. 1982 saw big gains for the hospice care as Congress passed a provision to create a Medicare hospice benefit. And the NHO's first television, PSA, was aired. In 1992, the National Hospice Foundation was established. So 1997 saw some losses for healthcare workers and the healthcare aides, particularly when the Balanced Budget Act of 1997 passed. The Act slashed Medicare home benefits, eliminating access to healthcare aides for many needy individuals. As a result, over 3,000 home care agencies closed their doors and there were fewer home health visits since then. However, there have been new payment initiatives and plans to make service more accessible for those in need. Today, it's clear that healthcare aides have revolutionized healthcare, being able to care for the sick and disabled. Today is also commemorated as Flora Duffy Day in Bermuda on October 18th every year. This day was instituted in the honor of Dame Florida Duffy, DBA, a Bermudian triathlete. She was honored for winning a gold medal at the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo. Hers was the first gold medal for Bermuda at the Olympics. Duffy holds several records and titles, winning them in close succession, and she made Bermuda the smallest country to win the gold medal at the Olympics with her performance. Today is also commemorated as Ethnicity Day in Estonia on the third Saturday in October every year. It takes place on October 18. The day aims to better inform the public of Estonia, with the country being a member of the Finno-Ugric nations, to value their origin, cultural heritage, and language more. Estonia is located in the northeastern Europe and is northernmost of the three Baltic states. Estonia's land includes about 1,500 islands and islets. Ethnicity Day is a day dedicated to Estonia's unique language and cultural identity and national culture, and the day when Estonians think about other Finno Ugric nations introduce their language and cultures and speak of their problems. So foreign powers dominate a very large part of Estonia's history. It was incorporated into the USSR as one of its constituent republics in 1940 and remained a Soviet republic until 1991, when along with other Baltic states it declared its independence. Estonia and other Baltic states, Latvia and Lithuania gained independence from the Soviet Union on September 6, 1991, and soon joined the United Nations. Estonia, the move to transform its government into parliamentary democracy and reorient its economy towards market capitalism. This country sought integration with Greater Europe. In 2004, joined the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, and the European Union. Today is also commemorated as Sweetest Day in US. On October 18th is a day to be sweet by sharing a kind thought, a small gift, or a gesture of kindness. It's a day to give a card with a sweet message to someone you appreciate. Little gifts of candy and other sweets are shared as well. Today is also commemorated as Right to Work Day in Australia, celebrated on October 18th every year to encourage biking, as the majority of Australians do not get enough physical activity to keep their health in good shape. Cities are jammed with traffic congestion, hurts the environment, and costs society billions of dollars in lost productivity each year. This day was intended to encourage people to get out of the cars and ride bicycles. Cycling to work is one of the most convenient and time saving modes of transportation. By riding a bike instead of driving, taking the train, or taking the bus, you can get your daily workout without having to travel to the gym. Today is also commemorated as National Sunday. Today is also commemorated as National Speak Up for Victims of Sexual Abuse Day in US on October 18. Every year, this day is dedicated to raising awareness about the horrors of sexual abuse, men, women, and children. Anyone can be a victim of sexual assault. While this is common for sexual abuse to go unreported, victims suffer greatly as a result. Acknowledging these victims and helping them in opening up about experience promotes healing. This day is an essential part of a larger effort to support all the victims of sexual abuse. So, National Speak Up for Victims of Sexual Abuse Day first appeared on the calendar in October 2021 and was created in the honor of a young woman named Jack Nunnery, a victim of sexual assault. She has been instrumental in the establishment of the day. Her mission, called Speak Up, provides sexual abuse victims a platform to speak up about their experiences, which encourages healing. This day intends to provide support to people who have faced sexual abuse of any sort. Many people face confusion regarding the meaning of sexual abuse, regardless of the offender's relationship with the victim. Sexual violence can be defined as any sex act or attempt to obtain a sexual act by coercion, act to sell a person, or act targeted against a person. Sexual abuse takes place at all socioeconomic levels and cultures. The day is about providing victims with a constructive support system to empower them and bring awareness to such cases that occur all over the world. This day encourages survivors to open up to their loved ones about their traumas. The day contributes considerably to bringing awareness and provides a voice for those who have been victimized. As a result, honoring this day as a significant milestone, it's necessary to make progress towards the goal of an abuse-free society. Today is also commemorated as National Prayer Day on October 18th, which is celebrated religiously in Zambia, just like other countries. It has a specific prayer-related day. The day is essential for everyone so that they get together to repent and pray. And since the day has been given a special status, it also encourages large religious gatherings where one can connect with their cultural and religious roots. Today is also commemorated as National No Bird Day in US for those men who are part of no bird resistance. It is a birded world. That's National No Bird Day on October 18. Shaving off your facial hair is a fast way to change your look. Going clean shaven could give you a totally new outlook on life and land you that job or completely change your dating pool. Entered the Gillette company in 1904 with its safety razor, which encouraged men to take their birds in their own shaky hands to remove excess facial hair. No need to find a barber when you could do the job yourself. Eventually, men were looking for ways to keep their hair off for longer periods of time. By 1930, Jacob Schrick introduces the electrical razor as the chic dry shaver, and another milestone in the hairy history of men's hygiene was surpassed. There is also commemorated as National Necktie Day in Croatia on October 18th every year. This day honors the invention of neckties. The modern necktie that we love and wear is the creation of Croatian mercenaries who wore it a neck protector. The National Necktie Day is a popular day in Croatia, is celebrated with great zeal across the country. Students attend school wearing their best ties, and the men pass on the blue and black embrace funky colors for the day. The day has been celebrated since 2008 when it was recognized as a special day by Croatian Parliament. There is also commemorated as National Mashed Potato Day on October 18th. The spud lovers in the US look forward to every year. It is an opportunity for them to indulge in even more of their favorite dishes. The origins of this day are not entirely clear. Different sources are also state it is happening on the different dates. Some people, however, believed the Idaho Potato Commission was happening on the different dates. Some people, however, believed the Idaho Potato Commission was responsible for founding this day in celebration of mashed potatoes. Whatever the case, the humble yet amazing potatoes deserves a day to honor its existence. Cultures all over the globe use potatoes as a staple food or popular accompaniment for their dishes. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. And today, we are celebrating Dhanteras. That is the first day of 5 days Diwali festival. We wish you all happy Diwali festival. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form that has been raised in the form of votes. So today, is the beginning of Diwali or Deepavali, the festival of lights, which is one of the most widely celebrated festivals across the India with joy and enthusiasm and across Indian diaspora across the world. It is considered the festival of joy, happiness, and prosperity, as marked by decorating homes and with diyas and candles, dressing up in new clothes, exchanging gifts, and indulging in delectable Indian cuisine. The festival is observed on 15th day of Kartika Masam in lunar calendar on the Amavasya Tithi. This year, it is being celebrated on Monday, on October 20, 2025. These celebrations is a 5-day festival celebrations which started with Dhanteras and concludes with Bhai Dooj, with Diwali being celebrated for 2 days, Choti Diwali, also known as Naraka Chaturdashi, and Badi Diwali, also known as Diwali. The Amavasya is beginning on October 20, 2025 at 3:44 p.m. and conclude on October 21st, 2025 at 5:44 p.m., marking the new moon phase and a significant time for spiritual practices and offerings. The auspicious Lakshmi Puja Muhurta on Amavasya will be observed from 7:21 p.m. to 8:19 p.m., with the Pradosh period falling between 5:51 p.m. and 8:19 p.m., making this an ideal time for performing rituals and prayers. Though these are recommended, but as per the convenience and feasibility, one can offer worship at any time of the day. So the 5-day festival today, Dhanteras, which is celebrated on October 18th, Saturday, and the Muhurat timings are 7:16 p.m. to 8:20 p.m. The festival marks the beginning of Diwali. People clean their homes and purchase metal items, especially gold, silver, to bring prosperity and also start donations. See, generally, Dhanteras, which is a symbolic representation of the emergence of nectar, that is divine nectar, that is also the churning of Milky Ocean and the birth of the Ayurveda, the birth of Dhanvantari. And tomorrow it is commemorated and celebrated as Naraka Chaturdashi on October 20, that is on 19th October, that is on Sunday, where Abhyanga bath is taken. That early morning, one gets up and takes the complete head bath and do Lakshmi Puja in the evening, also known as Choti Diwali. It commemorates the Lord Krishna's victory over the demon Narakasura. Devotees take an early morning oil bath to cleanse themselves on October 20, Monday. The main Diwali day is dedicated to worshipping Goddess Lakshmi for wealth and prosperity. And the next day is celebrated as Govardhan Puja, which is dedicated to Lord Krishna's act of lifting the Govardhanagiri, the Govardhan hill, to protect villages from torrential rains. Devotees prepare and offer Annakshetra, food, as food offering, and later distributed to the devotees. And the final day, that is the 5th day of Diwali or Deepavali, is celebrated and commemorated as Bhai Dooj, which is also a resemblance of Rakhi Purnami, where the day is a honor to the bond of between brothers and sisters. Sisters perform arti and apply tilak or tika on their brothers' foreheads, praying for their health, well-being, and prosperity. So we wish you all happy Diwali to each and everyone and to your family and friends. So see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link at 6 o'clock. Take care. Good night. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form. Take care. Good night.